I have the other ones available in there.
Wait.
But
What? So, Luke, what are you drinking today? Coca-Cola.
Morning on the way to the gym and set my ukulele on top of the car and then drove off down the road.
I need a bow after that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Hojo! I learned my lesson from last night. What a welcome, thank you. I drink the most fruity drinks imaginable.
It's laundry day.
it's laundry day.
So you always wear hats with laundry day?
Peter did you a favor, James. I just say, later.
So how did you two meet?
Well, there's these places in San Francisco. I think they're called bathhouses.
It's like one of those things where everyone wants to focus on like the big events that happen, but day to day, what we're doing is we're on like one of our drawstrings, smoking weed, making comics. It's chill. It's so much fun, and like
Yes. Man, I'm not a YouTuber. I do this because I want to sell comic books. Woo! Yes, guys. Woo! It is Sunday. This means another episode of A Drink With Brink, where I talk with other indie creators about their hopes and their dreams and their lives, but also their books and their campaigns. Because, frankly, I'm kind of done with mainstream, like corporate comics. They bore me, and indie is where the passion is, guys. Wow, I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend and a good Sunday. My Sunday was great today. I got some fan art. So sometimes we get fan art, guys. This is nuts. So we have like books out, right? We have like a gazillion million characters. And sometimes we get like fan art of one of these characters. So I got something from a character 10. Can I show it? Wait. Let me see if I can show it, guys. I want to showcase this. Let me bring this over there. So I can do a little share screen. I think I could do it right here. Yes, there we go. And there we go. Look at this, guys. Look at this. This is crazy. So I just got this 1 hour ago from Ron Musicki. Ron Musicki, you rock, sir. You're absolutely, this is fantastic. Made my day. Wonderful stuff. Absolutely fantastic. Guys, if you want some art, you can hire this guy also for like a project, for a cover or a pinup or even sequential work. So make it happen, guys. Wow. Thank you, Ron. Thank you so much. I just wanted to show this, guys. I'm so proud of this. We have the best fans, guys. And you know, this last week, I was a little bit out of it. You know, sometimes you have like you're not really feeling like it. I was in this little, I don't know. I didn't feel like doing anything for genuine, but you have to. You have a business. You have stuff to make. And then something like this happens, and I'm like, yes, there we go. We're going back to work, right? All right, guys. We have a brand new guest a brand new guest on the show, never been on the show before, which is great. So I can introduce you to new people and new people to you. So let's see if I have it set up. I think so. I think I have it set up. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. May I have a very warm welcome for the guest, Laurie Cunningham.
Hey,
Yes.
that's a very old haunted audience you have.
Yeah,
Black
yeah.
and white. I'm sure they're all alive, living
I
healthy
hope
lives.
it's your like target audience. I'm not
Yes.
sure. It is.
I
Okay.
imagine everyone in suits and tuxedos. Those are the target audience for sure.
Woo. Excellent. Welcome, Laurie. Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you. Really cool. I think we're both familiar with another Laurie. Is that correct?
A novel lawyer. What does that mean?
Laurie Calcaterra, you know her?
Oh, yes.
Right. Yeah. So what's
I
with
think
all the,
everyone's familiar with Laurie Cunningham.
yeah. What's with all the creative Lauries, right?
I don't know. So she's actually like closely connected to us because we have an imprint through our company, and we have a showcase that she hosts. So
Oh, really?
we're very close. We publish her graphic novel.
Oh.
Huh.
Wait, you publish her graphic novel? Wait.
We do.
Really?
Yeah, she does all of her single issues, and then we've published her graphic novel.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, wait. Welcome, David Taylor II. Go, Laurie. Welcome. And ASAP Imagination. Hello, both. That's a label you're familiar with?
Yeah, that's our company.
Yes.
That's Hades. He's the owner.
You're the owner of ASAP Imagination. Wow. And that's for comics, but also other things.
Yeah. It started off so I can give you the whole thing. So yeah,
Sure.
So ASAP Imagination is the company, and we're a small press. It started off publishing comics and just our own IP, and then it expanded to publishing novels and other people's IPs. So they get to keep all their rights and all that stuff. And now we've also expanded into distribution. So we have our website, and we said we do digital distribution and physical distribution, and that's for people we don't publish. We're just trying to get as many eyes on people's work as we can. So yeah, that's it in a very quick nutshell. There's more to it, but
Okay. Wow.
very quick and dirty.
That's quite the undertaking, right? Especially when you have to deal other people's books. I know it's very difficult to handle my own stuff, right? And then you have to do other people's material also.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, but it's fun though. We get to like work with a lot of amazing people, obviously. And like you said, like indies are very passionate, so you get a lot of very unique stories and hardworking people, and
Yeah,
a lot
absolutely.
of creativity.
We've been busy, they say.
Yes, agree.
Before we continue, before I forget, so usually I start with the first opening question. So we need to do that first is, Laurie, what are you drinking?
You know what? It's just noon here. Yeah, I just got back from a bike ride. I am drinking H2O over here. Just
H2O?
water.
That's
Yeah,
water?
I'm hydrating. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very warm, right?
Yeah.
Water's
I'm in my
perfectly
basement,
fine.
so it's cold, but in general, it's still quite hot here.
Right. All right. Jens, it's water today.
Yep, let's keep it clean. Just water.
Thank you, Jens. Right. Cool. Excellent. So you have your own little. So how did it all begin? By the way, you did. So where does your journey towards making your own book begin?
It probably starts when I decided to become a writer. It wasn't really on my radar. Like I wasn't one of those people who always wanted to be in comics or always wanted to be a writer. When I was little, I wanted to be a cartoonist, and then things kind of changed, and I ended up in accounting and business. But through that, I had a chance to go over to Ghana. And while I was there, I basically created like kind of a travel blog, but not real, like, wasn't getting paid for it or anything, to kind of just keep connected with family and friends back home. And a few people were like, "Oh,
was
like,
your own site? You had a site, your own.
yeah, just like a WordPress like blog,
Right.
so people could be like, oh, what's Laurie up to? Just so, because like it was the classic like sketchy internet wasn't really working, so if I needed to keep track, I'd have to phone all the different people, and so it just seemed easier than a blog, and just people could have quick updates on what I was up to. But while I was there, a few people, or when I came back, I guess a few people were like, "Oh, you're a good reader," and I'm like, "Oh, thanks," and then went back to my job. But I wasn't really feeling it, and my partner was kind of like, "Hey, like maybe you should take some creative writing courses." And one of the courses that I took, it was like just a continuing ed course, was basically publishing and promoting your work. And one of the assignments was to join Twitter, which I was not super eager for. I'm fairly kicking and screaming against that. But I joined it and created an author platform. And the first friends you have are everyone is in your class, but then you kind of get into the writing community and start connecting with people. And it turns out once you tell people you're a writer, you're kind of like, "Man, I should probably write something."
Right. So that was through Twitter, or you said
Yeah.
there?
That was just where it started, like just through this first assignment, like joining Twitter. So I started trying to so I started trying to be a novelist. I wanted to be like the New York Times best-selling novelist.
Of course.
It's kind of slow. Like I had my job, and then turned out I was really good at writing like about the first 12,000 words, and then I was just like, I don't know, where do I go next? So I kind of switched into short stories.
All right.
And I kind of also switched to, I was writing kind of like dark fantasy and kind of started to lean into horror a little bit as well. And somewhere along the line, I met Hades, and he was working a 9 to 5, but he's a big comic book fan, and he was working on a comic book with his friend Kyle Wright, who is the artist, and they were doing like the submissions to the big comic book companies like Dark Horse and stuff, and weren't hearing much back. So at some point, he was kind of like, screw it, I'm going to start my own company. And by then I was still just doing my own thing on the side. Him and I had talked about doing something together, but I had just had a baby and I was like overwhelmed. But yeah, so he started his own comic book company, and then he kind of to help me get back into writing, he's like, "Do you want to do this project together?" And I was like, "I don't know, I'm super overwhelmed. Like I'm trying to figure out how to be a mom." But yeah, so I just but by the end of that conversation, I was like, okay, I have my first idea. Because it's basically, so like in our universe, there's this big catastrophic paranormal event that happens in London, England. And from there, we wrote this anthology. This was like where it started at 16 stories. It's a little flip book. So there's like 8 stories on the first side. And then it's like a kind of a countdown to this event. And then you flip it over and it kind of expands from there. And they're just regular layman's persons on the street, just kind of different perspectives experiencing this event. And yeah, one of my stories in there, basically like we were like kind of, once we'd written our stories, we're kind of like making it so the timeline meshed, and I had to like kind of erase part of the story and write a new ending. And by the end, he was like, "This is a comic book character."
Oh, wow.
And I was kind of like,
what did you mean, by the way, when you said our universe? These are stories set in one world?
Yeah, so we have our universe called Our World, where we have a whole bunch of different titles that are loosely connected.
It's called like Our World.
Yeah, so they're connected through this big event, and there's all these different titles. So like I'm here to promote Sister Grimm, which is one of the titles. Mm-hmm. And then we have some other ones. We have Messiah and Person, which is Person, which is features like a demon hiding in human form. And then Messiah is this character who can absorb people's injuries to heal them, but he can't heal himself. And then we have Dead of Night, which is like a modern vigilante story, and we have Whole, which is a single issue, first person perspective, and we have OPSEC.
It's called Whole.
Yeah, I actually have it here because it's one of our giveaways that we are doing on our campaign.
You have a giveaway? Wait.
Yeah.
Whole. All right. Whole.
We had this for our first 50 backers, which we got to, and then we did it at the end, basically just as a thank you again for everyone backing us. And
oh, fantastic.
first person. I'll keep showing it, but it's this awesome, like, kind of first person perspective, like very, very kind of cool.
The book, like that. The book is done first person perspective.
Yeah, so like first person shooter video game kind of style. So basically from the perspective of this woman, Alicia, it starts right at the end of the event and everything's like chaos. And then there's injured people, and then this organization kind of shows up to help.
Okay, so this interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a comic book where the reader is basically the main character, right? Where
Yeah.
you see it through the main character's eyes. So how did you do that with regarding, like, for instance, dialogue? Where does it come from? Are these like caption boxes?
So I didn't write this. So on the top of my head, I was just like, I actually have to look to see exactly how they do.
Yeah, because usually you have like a balloon, and you can tell it's this character, right?
Yeah. So here you go. It just kind of, so this is where is it? Where's my camera? So this is her speaking. So this is just going right to like
going
that's where
straight
she
down.
is and stuff. So it's just kind of like points down to
Mm.
where she is. So there you go. It's been
All
a
right.
long time since this book came out, and I edited
Yeah.
it and stuff. But I'm like, you know what? I do not remember what we did.
Wow.
So yeah, that was written. That was the thought child of Hades again, and it was written by him, and then illustrated by C. Hess and brought to
That's
life.
really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it's a popular one just because it's unique and it's like a fun
Yeah,
little
yeah.
giveaway
Also,
that way.
I'm starting to think about it, how I would tackle that.
Yeah.
You have to be able. The artist has to be able to draw a lot of like scenery, right? Because
Yeah,
mostly
well, for
what you see
sure.
is-
Well, and
Yeah.
I think like when it's like not first person, you have all these different perspective options. Whereas like when it's
Mhm.
first person, it's always there. So like how you do angles and stuff is like it's a little more limited. So you kind of have to get creative with like how each panel changes. So it's not
Right,
just like
yeah.
static. Because like you are at risk for everything just kind of being like eye level and all that stuff. So
yeah,
like yeah, it's like
absolutely.
the artist did like a great job, in my opinion.
Wow. Right.
I'm very biased, but they were amazing. They're the best artists I've ever seen.
Of course. Yeah, sure. Right. So you made that, and then you made some other but these are this combination. If I got it right, it's a combination of comics, but also novels, like actual stories.
Yeah. So in our world, in our comic book universe, this is the only one, and we're actually turning it into comic books now.
All right.
This is just a starting point. We were like, people who in comics know that's doing a comic can be a little expensive. So we kind of started with something where we didn't need artists and stuff, but we wanted to like make a kind of, that was the catalyst for the world. And Hades did have another comic book at the time, but now that we've kind of grown and gotten bigger and all that stuff, and doing Kickstarters, we're like funding our comics and stuff that way. And
to the chat, citizen Ronan. Hail. Welcome. Nice to see you. By the way, guys, if you're watching, give this stream a like, share it out, get some more people in here to watch this stream, to watch this amazing, cool comic, this book that we're going to talk about today. So you have your own. So what are the biggest challenges when you have your own, like, you are your own publisher, you do your own distribution. So what are the biggest hurdles?
I think it's just
everything.
You just have to do everything is honestly the biggest hurdle. Like you have to be a lawyer, you have to be a writer, you have to be an artist, you have to be a business owner, you have to be an accountant. Like you just have to do everything, right? So it's just like it's a lot of work, and like Hades, not like we both have families and stuff, so in theory we need to sleep. like there's all these things that get in the way. But I think that's it. It's just like you have to do everything. Like obviously, like we have a great team of people. Like Hades is the owner and I'm the editor in chief. So like we're like, it's the core of stuff is us, but like we also have other people who help, and like mentioned Laurie Cunningham, like she runs our YouTube show, and then we have some other writers, and literally you have to do everything. True. And like I don't like illustrate the comic, like, but I'm an artist, but not like a sequential artist. So like I like don't have to do that, I guess. I've like started drawing like some like very like low stakes comics, but like even that, like, so I don't have to do that. That's one thing. One thing I have to avoid. And there's a few other things like Hades and I, we definitely like if we can delegate things, and we both have our strengths that we kind of let each other lead, put their foot forward and on those things. So
you need to learn, right? I didn't want to do run a business either. but
Yeah,
I just want comics, right? There's
yeah.
everything
Every time
around that.
tax season comes around, I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
someone else do this. Someone else run the business side of this. I don't want to do spreadsheets.
Luckily, my girlfriend handles that.
Oh, lucky.
Thank you. So yeah, so you have you have a creative vibe going on with other creators, which is fun. You can work together with other people. You can is there a certain like theme that you have for your comics, for your novels and for your comics?
So our world is based. It has like a bit of a sci-fi, like occulty horror, superhero-y, like, fantasy. Like it's speculative, I guess. let's give it like one label. So it's kind of like dark fiction, and like has a bit of an anti-hero vibe. Like so in this event, there used to be all these there was like the pre-event heroes where they were like the shining heroes with like the capes and the underwear on the outside of their tights and stuff like that. Whereas like the event happened, it just really changed the world and like devastated things, and like people, like heroes died, people went missing. This like organization appears with nefarious intent. So it's basically all these people were kind of ended up with these powers, or were driven mad, or have gone through like devastating loss, or all these various things. So it's like this big aftermath and like how people are dealing with things.
So there is one event that happens, that causes all of it. What's the event?
So it's called the event.
It's called the event.
Right. We kept it simple because like when it happened, people didn't know what was happening, so they just it was generalized as like the event. But there's this diamond on the front of our books that we actually have do I have it somewhere? I thought I was like clever and I like had it nearby, but we have a little pendant.
Right.
By
the way, welcome Jonas Olsen to the chat.
Oh, there it is.
Welcome.
Oh, this isn't the one with the. So this normally has like a little cord on it, so you can wear it. But that's this. Right. So this is called the Somnium Diamond, and we had these made by an artist. So it's designed to like look like it's like bone, and then it's charred bone on the top, and it's a pendant that you can wear. I don't have the cord on this one for whatever reason, but it's essentially it's the gate to the dream realm, and there's basically the first person to ever dream created the dream realm, and then they had this key, and then descendants of the first can wear this and they can open the dream realm. And so the event is essentially someone unleashed all the nightmares onto London, and so it's everyone experiencing their like actual nightmares in physical form. So it's like it's all over the place. So you have like physical like monsters and stuff, but you also have all this like psychological stuff where like whatever your worst fears are, basically.
So does this mean that in your world that London is basically this hellscape, or is it still that people can function normally?
So it's this like hellscape for like 24 hours, and then there's these mysterious beings called the Luminous appear and basically return all the nightmares to the realm, and then London goes back to normal. But it's basically there's all this fallout, there's like some paranormal aftermath and some fallout based on all the stuff people have experienced. Like one of our titles, OPSEC, features two basically like agents who are investigating like paranormal activities. It has very much like an X-Files kind of vibe, where there'll be events happening and they're like sent to small towns, be like, what's going on here? And then so there's like all these different things. And like Sister Grimm, during the event, the main character Lily Connors, she's a doctor, and she flees London with her family, and then she goes back because she wants to help people, because obviously people are being injured and hurt. But as she's trying to get back to London, she's being haunted by basically patients she's lost until she has an encounter with the physical form of death, and then she ends up with a half Reaper hybrid. So she has these Grim Reaper abilities, but combined with like human.
All right, this is
human characteristics.
So this is the comic we're talking about today, right? Sister Grimm. Correct, because then I can pull up the campaign, because you're talking about it right now, so might as well bring it up. There we go. It's on Kickstarter, guys. The link to this campaign is pinned in the chat. It's also in the description of this video. Please go check it out. See if it's something for you, and if you back, let us know in the chat so we can have a little celebration. look at this. 60 backers. Nice.
Yeah.
You are funded. 71 hours to go. So the pressure is on, guys.
Yeah.
Back
the
it while you
last
can.
time I looked at it, it was still counting down in days. Now it's in the hours.
It's hours. Oh, no.
Stressful, but thankfully we have funded. But we still have some like awesome stretch goals and stuff that we're trying to unlock. So
Great.
we're hopeful that we can get some more.
Excellent. Shall we look at the trailer?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. All right. I hope the sound is on. Nice. All right, cool. Maybe you refresh. It looks nicer when you refresh. Like, okay. Interesting. Good musical choice there. So we're fully funded. Be sure to check out all the stretch goals and new rewards we're unlocking during the campaign. Fantastic. So what is this cover? What's the story behind the cover? The cover usually is the first image that people see, and that to get people intrigued, right? So what's the plan here?
Yeah, so this is issue 3. So this is the first time we've been on Kickstarter, but we've had issues 1 and 2 are available, and they're available as rewards in the tiers and as add-ons. But our artist, Nicolas Nieto, he's from Argentina, and he has this kind of like gritty watercolor style vibe. And obviously there's, as I mentioned, there's some heavy Grim Reaper influences in the story. So, and it takes place in London. And in issue 1, I'll give a bit of background on it. So basically Lily wakes up in a morgue, and it's 3 months after the event, and she has no concrete memories of what have happened the last 3 months. She has like she's kind of being haunted by these flashbacks. And basically as she wakes up and she doesn't know if her family's alive, and she's trying to find them, but she has these abilities that she's trying to deal with, and she doesn't know how to control. So that's kind of issue 1. And then issue 2, she kind of runs into her first ghost and she doesn't really know what to do with him, because again, she doesn't really know how to control her powers, and he's very chatty, and basically she kind of irritates her. But at the same time, he also is kind of like helping her like deal with stuff and encourages her. So issue 2 is very much an introduction to, his name's Bennett. And that's very much an introduction to him and gives a bit more context. And then
the ghost will become a supporting character.
Yeah. 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 And then in issue 3, which is the one that we're funding, it's basically her starting to just be like, okay, maybe I need to see what I can do with my powers. I can't just hide in my house. I can't just hide and be depressed and wonder if my family's alive. Like, I got to do something about this. Like, she's over feeling sorry for herself. It's time to actually take some action.
Sure. So what are her powers exactly?
So they're like, we haven't like fully like gone into it, because like, so she has a death touch, and she's like so she kills some people.
Did you say a death judge?
A death touch, like when she touches people.
Oh,
like,
she has a death touch. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think that like we haven't like fully explored all of her powers yet, so I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to tell people anything more.
But is she dead, or is she alive, or?
Also question mark. She's yeah. Because again, she like woke up in a morgue because people didn't think she was alive. But yeah, so she can obviously talk to ghosts. I guess that's another fairly obvious power there.
That's an amazing scene to write. I think her waking up
it's been fun.
in the morgue. So are there people there that witnessed that?
Yeah, of course, because that's like the most terrifying. Like I don't know about other people, but the thought of like working in like a morgue, I'm like
Yeah.
always like the thought of just like all of a sudden like and that's how it starts. It starts because she's like banging. She's like to get out, and like there's a janitor in there who's
she's
cleaning.
one of
after.
these drawers?
Yeah, she's like
Right.
fully in one of the drawers, and there's like a janitor
shit.
there who's cleaning, and of course like terrified by
Oh,
the sudden
yeah.
appearance of of a live person.
That's a great way to start a story.
Yeah.
Usually within horror scenes, you see it from someone else's perspective, like the dead, like
Yeah.
rises, right?
Yeah, when it starts off from her perspective, so the panels are kind of like
Yeah.
dark and sound effects, and that kind of switches
Oh,
to his
yeah.
perspective because like you hear him, he's just like singing along to like his music and stuff, and then all of a sudden it's just like, and then she wakes up, she's just gone. There's just like scattered stuff all over the place, and then she's like kind of
Wow.
basically get out of the hospital.
And you wrote this, right?
Yeah, I wrote this.
Is this also your concept, or did you?
Yeah,
Right.
like obviously like Hades came up with the whole world, so it's
Sure.
like the idea of like it being in London and all this paranormal stuff happening, like it's all kind of like written in his framework that he's created.
Right.
So like I didn't come up with everything, but like the story of Sister Grimm and like her being half Reaper and how she's dealing with it is my concept.
Sure. So all these stories take place in London.
Yeah.
Is that a little bit of a challenge for you because you're not from, right?
Yeah.
right.
That absolutely is. But thankfully Hades is over in the UK. And then he actually mentioned that like even one of his artists is over in the UK for Messiah. And he actually mentioned that his artist like will take, the little man from Google Maps, so you can like just drop him into the maps and you can walk around with it. I've done that now too, and same things. I'm like, doot, doot, doot.
All right.
And then there's a few things like I know when we were writing the anthology, I'd like send my stories to Hades and just be like, can you British this up? Because like I know like the first time one of the stories I wrote takes place in like a car. Or I guess there's a couple places. Everything takes place in a car. I feel like it to some extent.
Yeah.
But like you instantly like everything's has a different name. It's like windscreen versus windshield and like all this stuff and like petrol versus gas. So like everything's different and everything's on the different side. So like I think we do like it's tricky. Like thankfully like as an editor and in Canada, like our spelling is very like not 100% but close enough that like I can put the OUs and stuff right from color and all that stuff.
Wow.
So like that part's okay, but there's definitely a few terms and like I know you don't want to get like super cliche with like don't want to turn on my character's Cockney or something or anything that, right? So like there's
it can become a little bit cringe, right? When you actually read the characters in a certain accent.
100%. So I've definitely like he's like been good for that. So like we again, like I said, we all have our strengths and he's good at making sure that we do that because we have two other writers. So the writer who does OPSEC, he lives in Los Angeles. And then the writer who took over, like Hades started writing Dead of Night, and then we found another writer to take it over, and he lives, George Medina. He lives in New York. So we have like two US based writers as well also need to make sure same thing that like things are like London accurate, but like we have a little bit of a flexibility because it's an alternate London, so you can like change things like a little bit. So like, and even if we're like if there's things that are a little different, you can be like, was that on purpose or was that something they missed? And like, it's always on purpose. Definitely never something we missed. But it gives us a little flexibility there. Where it's just like, you can just be, no, it's an alternate London because we got superheroes and paranormal events.
Sure, yeah.
Magic and all this stuff. So
that's fantastic. Welcome, Jim Cox. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Wait, let me see. I think we had 70 backers. Let me. Oh no, sorry. It's 71 hours and 60 backers.
Yeah.
Don't switch it. So 60 backers. So guys, if you back, let us know in the chat, and we'd love that. So here is your. So who did the color? So these are some interesting color choices.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were very, very fortunate. We're the artist, he does pencils, inks, layouts, and colors, and then we have a letterer. So the
All
first
right.
2 issues we had the letterer on Whole that I showed earlier. She did the lettering on this one on issue 1 and 2. And then for issue 3, we've switched over to our other writer on Dead of Night, George Medina, who's doing the lettering for this. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
we've our one artist does almost all of it.
Okay. All right. So what's your process when you write a script, right? So you have this scene. How do you break down scenes? Do you adapt to a certain page count? Then do you break up the individual pages? What's your process?
Oh man, I feel like my process is like not very organized at all. I
Hmm.
originally wrote Sister Grimm. It was going to be a graphic novel, so I wrote it. It was massive. So I just kind of like, and it wasn't very formatted because I know when I started writing comics, I wanted to be a novelist. So,
Jane asks if the campaign is
we're
this
probably
book
gonna,
is
yeah.
somewhere else. Yeah.
They're available on asapimagination.com, issues 1 and 2 right now. Issue 3 will eventually be available there. And we may be doing a second chance campaign over on Indiegogo. So keep an eye out, probably will. It's just, I had the mistake, made the mistake of like, we had this all scheduled and then all of a sudden I decided to move. So it's been very, very busy. So I'm at my parents' house right now because I currently don't have a house. So I'm waiting for my other one to become available.
Oh, wow. In between all of
that's that kind of chaos right now. So like,
oh yeah,
in theory, we're gonna have them both running at the same time. But I'm like, you know what, we'll just do a second chance campaign. So
sure.
that'll be coming. I'll get on that. But yeah.
By the way, have you heard of Fund My Comic?
Yeah, I have.
All right.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, so there's a lot because like there's Zoop, there's like
Zoop.
there's BackerKit, and like there's Crowdfunder. There's so many. I think just because like I know Kickstarter's like has a massive it's just massive right now, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are on the same wavelength right now.
Yeah, it's because basically Fund My Comic is made by creators for creators, and there's a very low like platform fee. I think this month it's only 2%.
Yeah, fair. Like I think that like we were doing a lot of like in-house funding for the longest time, and then like we came back and did a Kickstarter in April of like way back when Hades launched the company. We did a Kickstarter like 3 years ago, and then we hadn't done one for a really long time, and then we've basically made it so we came back in April with a Kickstarter and had like a really good response. So we stuck with it. So we decided to stick with it here. And because like we heard Kickstarter, like a lot of people obviously use it. It has like there's a good community there. And then again, we just kind of wanted to try Indiegogo because it's also big and kind of well known. But obviously there's lots of things to explore. But like we're also only 2 people. And I don't know, for anyone who's run a crowdfunding campaign, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
So like as much as I would love to put things everywhere right now, I think maybe one at a time sounds great.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously we can explore
Take your
other
time.
options
Sure.
as well. Yeah.
Right. Sorry, but we were talking about your writing process here.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, so I started writing this as a graphic novel and came from a novelist thing. So like I had read a whole bunch of Hades scripts and he was like, yeah, just use that format. So I was like trying to do that and I started writing this. And like my first one was like I was trying to like do all the formatting per page and it was just like overwhelming and it was like blocking the creative process. I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna puke out the story. And I did this like really like almost like an outline where it was just like panel dialogue, like very like nutshell descriptions where like the description be like they're talking. There'd just be and then their dialogue below. So I was getting all the story out. And then we decided to switch it into 4 issues. So there is going to be a 4th issue coming, which kind of completes the story arc. And and then from there, we split it up into 4 issues, and then we split it up into 22 pages. So I did have to do some cutting, and then make sure everything still made sense. And like there's a chance, like even though there's only 4 issues, we wanted to leave the opportunity to explore this more. Like we could spin off the ghost character, or we could keep the series going, but just a kind of like another story arc. So there's like catharsis and like an ending in issue 4, but like there's some loose ends to like keep things going. But yeah, like once I had kind of my constraints into it, here's the 4 issues, here's the 22 pages, I was able to kind of take the story and put it into panels and pages and all the layouts and stuff like that. And
Right.
obviously, issue 3 is still being illustrated. We're almost done inks right now.
Mhm.
So we're kind of just sharing things as we go. So I shared some pencils, and I'm not, I'm like maybe hopeful that we can share some colors before the campaign ends, but obviously we have the updates and we can share some
Sure.
colors afterwards.
What's your estimated like delivery time date?
We're hoping September for the digital and then October for the physical.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
But obviously we still have we have to finish colors and lettering and formatting and all that.
Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah. It's
it might be a tight. We always give ourselves tight timelines. Then we meet them, but we definitely don't make it easy on ourselves.
No, keep your delivery date as far away as possible. Just
Yeah.
you never know what happens, right?
Yeah, when I said October, I meant 2025. But
nice self-portrait here. Right? The writer.
yeah, we work with this one artist. He doesn't do sequentials for us, but he does fan art. Ricky Romero over on Instagram, and he has this great little horror vibe, and he created little horror avatars for us all last year.
Wow.
And so now I just like using it because it's fun.
Wow. So this character, so this is
it's not me. That's supposed to be Sister Grimm.
yes. Is she in this perpetual state of or is she still
no, so
breaking down?
So she looks human most of the time until something activates her half Reaper side, and then she turns half Reaper.
All right.
So she so she wears the hood because she's always afraid she's going to turn there. So that's actually that's his legit art that he did for her. So we commissioned him for a print and stuff. So and that's her little ghosty friend Bennett.
Yeah, interesting style.
Yeah,
So
he's got this kind of cartoony it reminds me of probably reminds me of Coraline because he draws a lot of Coraline stuff, or he used to. But yeah, it's got this kind of creepy, cartoony vibe, which I love.
Sure, but you need to find when you make the comic book, you need to find the right style, right? So the right artist that fits the vibe that you're going for.
Yeah,
right.
Well, yeah, for sure. Well, and that's the main artist on the issues. Like I said, he has this gritty watercolor style vibe, which suited the story perfectly because it's kind of a little melancholy at the start, and it's has this surreal feeling to it, and then we decide to limit the color palette to kind of greens and purples and pinks is the main palette, and there's a secondary palette as well. So yeah, he's been great for the to create a whole different vibe with it, which is great.
Really cool. You have a lot of stuff on this campaign, or not?
Yeah. We got some prints. We got
Wow.
and we got the Somnium Diamond, which is the pendant, and we have a Sister Grimm mask
really
now.
Cool. You can
So if
get
there's any
that.
cosplayers out there who want to dive in,
Right.
3D printed and hand painted by Serge Christopher at Armatite. So he has this available. So you can get this as a reward, and then we also have just new stuff. We've added new stuff. These ones this is me being an artist, so we have them here too. I'll give you the live version. Yeah, these are available as a reward as well, just some hand painted skulls, and then there's
these skulls they are printed, right?
Yeah,
right.
No, so they're the skulls are just bought, so they're just there's essentially anatomy skulls for doctor training, and then I'll just painted them. So so they're plastic. Cool. So they're available, and then we for some stretch rewards we have
only one of each. Oh, you made two?
Yeah, well there's that one, and then there's the gold one.
Oh, right, yeah. All right. Add-ons. There's the book.
Yeah.
Really cool. Nice. Yeah, you started. You talked. You said in the beginning about wanting to make this long story, and you kind of abandoned that to focus on shorter stories. Most writers learn to write through shorter work, right? So you actually know how to start, how to have a middle, how to end it, and But everyone wants to start with the bigger, with the massive.
Yeah, and I know people love starting with graphic novels, and when people are my first thing I want to do is a graphic novel. I'm ooh, that's that's a big undertaking. Like I
Yeah.
know I've seen people like I'm in some Facebook comic-y groups and people have been like, hey, like I've spent $20,000 on my graphic novel. It's starting to get a little expensive. I'm like, yeah, it would. But this is the complete points of villainy up on the screen. That's our first graphic novel. So I said that we were turning all those stories into comics. So that we have three single issues where there's 2 stories in each, and then we've combined them into this one. So this is the first graphic novel we have. So this is essentially this side of the story.
Right. This is a graphic novel. One sec.
Yeah.
I have to say hi to Darius.
Yeah, no
There's
worries.
artists. There's artists. Welcome. Welcome, sir. And we have Mo Biggs in the chat. Welcome, Mo. Nice to see you. Awesome.
All your people watching.
Yeah, cool.
You're adoring fans.
So you wanted to show us something.
Yeah, so in the graphic novel on the screen, it's 6 stories from this side. So we've left 2 stories out that we haven't illustrated, and then we're working on the graphic. There's single issues for this one that are going to be compiled into the complete points of virtue. So it'll be the same thing. There'll be the other half of that coming soon. So
Okay.
people can get excited for that.
It's actually a graphic novel, right?
Yeah.
And then we have a bundle so people can like get other material that you made, that you published.
Yeah. So this is from Our World. So these are the different titles. They're loosely connected. So I think like we never wanted to tie people down into that. Like in order to understand what's going on, you have to read all these issues and titles. And
yeah, you should.
It's like a big commitment. So we've made it so you can follow like just the individual titles, just whatever stories. They're all connected to this event, but they all kind of loosely explain what it is. Like I don't think you're lost reading any of them. And they kind of maybe have a few little Easter eggs to the other titles, but you don't need to dive into them if it's
Laurie. Backer 61.
Yay!
Jim!
Thanks, Jim.
Jim, thank you so much.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah! Yes! Yes!
Woo!
That's what I was doing while while you were playing.
Yeah.
That.
Wow. Thank you so much, Jim.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Wow. Yes, guys, you have like 70 hours left to back.
Yeah.
Get on this.
You're
share it out.
running out of time.
Wow. So you wrote all of these, or these are done by different people?
So I just did Sister Grimm. So Messiah and Person are written by Hades. Dead of Night #1 is by Hades, but now it's George Medina. And then OPSEC is written by D.W. Howard, or we call him Nem. So just everyone has, there's all the thing. And it has all of the artists on it. But I just want to show this too. So like, I know. So this is something that we do. This is something that we do now. I can never find my camera when I do this. This is something we do. We basically have like a chronological timeline. So in theory, I come from a novelist. Like I used to just read books. I wasn't like a big comic book reader, and I was always like, you start with book 1 and then you read book 2 and then you read book 3.
Yeah.
So we've started putting like a chronological timeline in there for those people who
really want to. But is it? Do you notice when you read a book that's later on the chronological line?
I think you would, because like they happen at different timelines. But like Sister Grimm happens 3 months after the event. Like obviously while you're reading the event, you would notice that it's during the event. But like Sister Grimm, I don't think you would like obviously notice, like it's a different season and stuff. But like eventually if there's like little Easter eggs and stuff, you would see things. Like I know, like we've talked about, like there's a mention of like a certain police officer who like in one story she has like a lower rank than in like one story that happens like a year later and stuff. So there's little things like that. That you would like, I feel like if you like really want to get into it, you go like notice those things, but I don't think it would like distract you from it. Whereas like, yeah, a lot of the stories happen like a year later and all that stuff. So
right. What is this?
So with ASAP Imagination, we have Our World, which are the comics like Sister Grimm and the first issues up there. But then we have our imprint, which is all the creators that we publish who have their own IP. And then we also have digital distribution. So there's the people who just come and like we sell their books for them online, and we go take their books to stores and stuff. So these are creators within the Anyone world who have donated their first issues to the campaign. So every time we hit 300 pounds, we unlock another comic, and we have one left to unlock. So
Ooh,
70
cool.
hours. So all these people there, it's available to all backers, get all these comics.
They just get them added to their
Yeah.
to the regular order.
Yeah, 100%. So you get all these for like first issues, and there's like ones like yeah, they're all a little different, and
It's digital. They get
yeah,
a digital.
these ones are digital.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
cool.
then up above, you scroll past where we also have like a stretch goal for stickers. So like when
Oh,
every like 25 backers, yeah, so every 25 backers, we've unlocked 2 stickers.
Mhm.
And like the night, I feel like I was optimistic about the third one, but like we're in 70 hours and we need 14 backers still. So
we
like
can still do it.
we could do it.
It's very
but
much doable.
I feel like my cautious optimism is going to kind of a little more realism, getting a little more realistic, and like maybe we're saving that sticker for the next campaign. But we'll see.
Yeah,
Or maybe our second chance campaign, we can have some other backers unlock it for everyone.
Yeah.
We'll
It really
see.
sucks when you made this fantastic like stretch goal and you don't reach it, right?
You know what? I'm actually like, because I know we're running other Kickstarters, I'm not so worried, because like
Right.
these stickers are fun. So I think that it's something that like I think that we'd keep them going for like issue 4, and if we're probably going to compile them all into a graphic novel.
Oh.
Excuse me. So we'll probably just keep them going. We can just save them, give people something to anticipate on our next one.
Right.
The mystery sticker.
Darkside's Comics, welcome, sir. Guys, subscribe to Darkside is Comic YouTube channel for daily comic book reviews. Good stuff. Great. All right, you have a lot of stuff that people can read. Guys, the link to this campaign is pinned in the chat. It's also in the description of this video. Go check it out. So, is there something else before we like end this talk about this campaign? Is there something that you want people to know? This when something about your book or about your campaign.
Well, obviously there's like 70 hours left, so get on it. Like I said, I do think that we're gonna have a second chance campaign, and all of these titles are available on asapimagination.com, including all of the Anyone World titles. You can also go to anyoneworld.com. If you're a creator, you can also go to anyoneworld.com and you can sign up for digital distribution or publication, like whatever you're looking at. People come to us at all different parts along their process. Like some people come to us with ideas and scripts and we help them find artists, and some people come to us with fully complete books and they're just hoping to get them in more bookstores or at more cons. So
all right,
yeah,
so people can even send in submissions.
Yep, 100%.
All right.
So, yeah.
But when they send something, it has to fit your world, your theme, right?
Oh no. So we have our world, which is like very much like our titles, but then through the Anyone world, you can submit anything. Like we tend to focus on like still the horror, like the speculative. So it could be horror, superhero, fantasy, sci-fi. But yeah, basically it's just like if people want something out, and even digital distribution, we've kind of like relaxed it a little bit. Like we have like more like basically just whatever. We're just turning into a full bookstore. I feel like we always are like, oh, like we'll just do this, and then someone's like, well, can you do this? And we're like, yeah, I guess we can do that. And like we also have like children's books and stuff because we want to make it comics accessible to children and younger readers as well. So yeah, we basically just anything, whatever you want. Like we don't necessarily publish everything, but digitally, I don't think there's many people we would say no to.
So it sometimes happens that you like don't publish something, you get something and you're like, yeah, not really.
We try to help out however we can. Like it's not always going to be, it's like anyone, like there's so many different paths you can take, and there's been people who come to us or for whatever reason it just hasn't worked out, but they've gone on to do their own thing and it's been successful. They've put it out there and Kickstarted and all that stuff, but obviously like we're an option as well. Like I've self-published some of my own stuff, and it's same thing. Like it's even more work because you have to do everything, but you have to do everything by yourself. So it's nice when you can kind of come in and just be like, get some support, and we try and make a community and spread it by word of mouth, and people mention it at cons all over the world and stuff. So we just try and I always use that little cliche where it's like the rising tides lift all boats. So we're just trying to help each other where we can, and whatever makes sense to people. So yeah,
fantastic. Well, thank you so much for doing this for the indie community. We all know how difficult these things can be when you're an indie creator, right? So every help that people can offer is much appreciated. Right, guys. In 3 minutes, this timer will go to 70 hours. So get on this, please. Share this campaign. Talk about this campaign. Share it through your social media. Let's try and get some more backers before this ends. Right. So stop the screen. Right, and then before we close the show, guys, I need to present something of my own, because we have a campaign going on also. Oh, really?
Nice.
Show it, Dave. Well, here it is. It's called Perfect 10 Book 5 and POWERTRIP Book 2. So it's something completely different. This is, if you like superhero stuff, right? Colorful, like action-packed, good old-fashioned superhero comics, then this might be something for you. We have 2 new books in one campaign. So one is Perfect 10 issue 5. We're at issue 5. This is totally bonkers, guys. We're working on this right now. It's a fantastic comic. This is my favorite comic ever, and I happen to be writing it. So that's crazy. This is cover B. So you can pick your favorite cover, or if you can't pick, just get them both, right? Look at this art here. It's done by Paul Rodriguez. He did work on Wolverine and the Justice League America, and now he's working with me, and it's crazy. And then we have the second book, which is POWERTRIP, which tells 3 shorter stories from the Jamie Comics universe, made by 3 different creative teams. So we introduce like Shadow Lion. We have a story about the Flying Dutchman. Written by myself, and then we have a story about the Phenomenals, which is a team they have like mental issues, right? But it's really cool. So go check it out, guys. The link to this is in the description of this video. Stop the screen. Laurie, thank you so much for being my guest today, and for showing us your wonderful campaign. Right, and special thanks to the chat. Thank you so much for showing up, guys.
Yeah,
because without you, there's no point. There's just 2 people talking, right? So, if you liked this conversation, please give it a like. If you didn't like the conversation, give it a dislike, and I'm very sorry.
But still subscribe and tell everyone that you hated it. Make it viral.
And the Flying Dutchman is Darkseid's Comics' favorite character ever. Thank you so much, Darkseid. There's artist says that's a huge cannon. Yeah, it's the biggest gun that Pow could draw. Right. All right, guys. Thanks. I'll be back next week. Same time, same channel, new guest. Hope to see you guys then. Bye.